So good afternoon and welcome. This is a real honor for me to be here on behalf of our town board, and I would just like to take a minute and recognize our town board because it really is a partnership that we have, and I'll talk about partnerships a lot today. So the first partnership I want to talk about is the one that I have with our town board, and I'm very fortunate over the years I've worked with a number of town boards, and I will say that this town board is one of the best boards that I have ever worked with. Today we have Linda Cole, Councilwoman Linda Cole here today. Councilwoman Paula Metzler, Andy Moore, and Rob Quinn send their regards. All of them had other commitments, but certainly they are very committed not only to all of the people in this room, which is a cornerstone and foundation of our community, but also all of our residents. The other partnership is the one that makes me want to come to work each and every day, and that is our staff. And we have a wonderful staff at the town hall. We have a number of them behind the cameras. They're the ones that typically you don't see because they're in the basement. But Brian and Jeff, thank you for all your support as always. And then we have a number of our department heads that are here to join us. And again, I will say that each and every one of our employees are really committed to all the residents of Penfield, our businesses, and certainly they make my job very easy. They make me look good each and every day. I want to thank them, and the table here we have our great town clerk, Amy Steckloff, Highway Superintendent Jim Fletcher, Jim Costello. I think everybody knows Jim Costello. Bob Beeden, and then the other piece of our PR team, Phyllis Ely. And each and every day, Phyllis keeps me on the straight and narrow by way of communications. And joining us at the table is also County Legislator Debbie Draw. So Debbie, thank you for being here. The other partnership that I want to make reference to is the one that the town has with our school districts, and we're very fortunate to have the relationship we do. I have the honor and pleasure of dealing with John Carlavati on some regular basis. John and I try to keep each other updated for the good of the whole, and it really is a relationship that John and I are committed to continue to grow and expand, not only on the Penfield side, but with Del Brevard on the Webster School District side. And John, I really appreciate all of your support and working very closely with you. So thank you very much. So let's get started and talk a little bit about what's going on with the state of the town and business vitality. I think the town of Penfield is in great shape. So really, let's if we could, let's get down to really the business at hand and why we are all here, and that is as it relates to our business vitality and all of you and what you bring to the table each and every day. And this town board and the commitment that I've made is spotlighting all of our businesses. And one of the challenges I'm going to throw out to you today is that while we have a lot of the businesses, storefronts, freestanding buildings, and what have you, there's another segment of the population that we can't lose sight of that's very important, and that's our customary home occupations. Those are the individuals that work out of their homes. You drive by their homes each and every day. You may not recognize that they're a business, but that's that next segment that we want to make sure that we're tapping into, making part of this group, because the more people that we have, their voices in the room, I think the better off that we are, both from a business community and then certainly from the community of Penfield overall. I would like to take a minute, and Ann mentioned earlier that the recognition that you just received for becoming the newest member of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And on behalf of the entire community of Penfield, I'd like to congratulate the Penfield Business Association. I know that doesn't come easy. I know there's a lot of hard work associated with that, and that recognition is something you should be very proud of. So let's talk a little bit about the vitality of the town. And I think this one, and I'm not going to use a lot of numbers and statistics because that gets kind of boring, but I think this is a true, says a very powerful statement of what's going on in Penfield. Penfield went from number 3 to number 1 as far as new home starts for 2010. And what that means is that we're getting new residents that are coming in. We're getting a lot of people that are upgrading, so they're moving from their current house in Penfield to a newer house in Penfield. And so certainly our population continues to grow. All of those residents need the services that you provide, whether that be banking or retail or service. And those are the individuals that come to your businesses and support your businesses. And those are the individuals that we want to continue to have support all of our Penfield businesses each and every day, each and every week. So we will continue to keep you abreast of all of that and that data. I will be doing the State of the Town address, so if you're really into the numbers and the stats on the 16th, Wednesday the 16th of February, that's when the presentation will be loaded with all of that data. In the meantime, let's talk about the business vitality here in Penfield, and you'll hear me on a regular basis talk about shopping locally. Healthy business makes for a healthy community. I don't think a month goes by that that's not mentioned at least once or twice, whether it be in my column, at a town board meeting, our town board members, our staff, and that's really the cornerstone of a good, healthy community is a healthy business. So our commitment has and continues to be is to build the awareness to our residents of all of you and the things that you bring to the table and the support and the services that you provide. We want to continue to reinforce the 6 business districts. We have 6 primary business districts and our rich heritage of the agricultural that we have here in Penfield. And our goal, our commitment that I brought to you last year and that we continue to bring to you is that what can we do to spotlight your businesses? How can we help? We're not looking to take over for you, your advertising, your marketing. All we want to do is we want to help supplement that, support you, give you the opportunity to utilize our great PenfieldTV and the opportunity to get out into a lot more households, to utilize our website and how can we support you so that as residents or as those individuals interested in coming to Penfield have an opportunity to see who's out there, what's out there, what do the services provide. So we want to supplement what you're doing, we want to support what you're doing and help advertise those things that you're doing. We also want to connect to the business owners as it relates to this sustainability and helping to lower consumption and energy costs. And last year we had talked about, we started an Energy and Environmental Advisory Council. There are a number of members actually here today, so I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize them. Robin Miller is on our team. Bob Hake, Phyllis Ely, and am I missing anyone else? I don't want to miss anyone. But this group came together with a lot of energy and a lot of commitment, not only to help our residents, but to help our businesses as well. And we really appreciate that overall. So let's talk a little bit about 2010 and some of the things that we did or looked to do and how successful were we in doing that. We re-energized the Town and PBA Liaison Committee. Each month there's a group that comes together. We talk about different issues. We update each other as to what's going on. We talk about things that we can do to help you, maybe to remove some of the red tape, maybe to look at some ways to make applying for a permit a little bit easier. So that group meets on a very regular basis. We had Diane Thrush that spent last year with us. And now with a new president coming in, Ann Young, look forward to working with her, and I know Diane is going to continue to lend her expertise and interest to that group. We established a town board liaison for each one of the business districts. And again, the goal was to have a member of the town board to be out there and meeting with any of you at any time, but also have a focus on a particular business district. So what can we do to help spotlight that particular business district? Again, we talked about the Energy and Environmental Advisory Council and some of the things that we've been trying to do and focus on there. We increased the visibility and support of branding the business districts in all of our town communications. So whether that be on our website, whether that be on PenfieldTV, whether that be as part of Jim Costello working with the districts and helping to identify and brand those areas overall. We prepared the spotlight videos, which were a wonderful success from my perspective. We really wanted to concentrate on identifying each one of the districts, what was there, services provide, and again, the idea was to be able to utilize these in other venues and other settings. And again, there was a lot of hard work that went into this. I'll take a minute and again recognize PenfieldTV for their expertise on that. And I would like you to just enjoy this short clip of what they put together, and this spotlights our businesses.
Beneath the asphalt and concrete crust of the Four Corners lies the story of the town of Penfield's past and the foundation of its future.
You know, it's very nice, it's very homey when you come in here. I think any customer will tell you that. You know, I had 2 customers today said it's like Floyd's Barber Shop when you come in here, you know.
I still have, probably half my customers are still brand new, which is great. But the regular customers have slowed down their frequency, and I think that's just because of the economy.
The newly renovated building was once home of the Penfield Town Hall and Public Library.
The center of Penfield is close to my family's heart. We all, you know, have loved it for a long time.
The Four Corners here is beautiful. The windows were a big seller for us. We live in Penfield, and we thought that the Penfield people would be great supporters of us.
LaSalle's Landing Business District is perhaps the most historic area of the town of Penfield. While the highly industrialized mid-1900s brought environmental constraints to the area, cleanup efforts, along with the installation of a public sewer system, brings many opportunities for economic development within LaSalle's Landing.
Wanted it to be as much of an investment. I thought the location was unbelievable. I can't believe it hadn't been sold. I had to do a lot of work outside. It took me just months to clean up the outside, cut down hundreds of saplings, and but I got a view of the bay.
Got a lot of good customers, loyal customers. LaSalle's Landing is a beautiful place. A lot of people comment on the view to the bay. There's some hiking trails down here. There's kayaking down here. Basil's restaurant. We see that it is developing. It's just a beautiful place to be.
We have things here that are 250 years old, and we have things that are 20 years old. We're happy here. We're happy also to see the park that the town put in, and I'm happy to see that they're possibly have purchased some other land or are thinking of doing that to increase the size of it.
The building, I love the building. I love the history of the building. The town, I love the history of the area. Even though everybody thinks this is Webster. I tell everybody, no, it's not Webster, it's Penfield.
The town of Penfield has long been considered a farming community with much pride and acceptance that farmlands are an important part of the town's character.
My family settled here in 1825. They came here from Rhode Island. I'm the 6th generation to be here. My son helps me, he'll be the 7th.
Not only do we sell here retail at the farm market, but we also sell wholesale to some of the supermarket chains.
some of the things that we make noise and dust and that, it isn't like we're trying to irritate anybody. We're just trying to deal with Mother Nature and put food on the table just like the next door neighbor.
I think agriculture is important to any community, especially Penfield. We're sort of on the fringe here, Development pushes and pushes farther east, and I hope it remains an important part of the community for a long time.
For more information on future and existing opportunities and economic development with this district, contact Jim Costello in the Town of Penfield's Developmental Services Department at area code 585-340-8642. Support Penfield businesses by shopping local. A healthy business makes for a healthy community.
This video segment turned out very well. We think it's an opportunity to share that not only with a number of people within Penfield, but also outside. Those individuals that made contact with Jim Costello and say, I have an interest in locating in the Rochester, Monroe County area. Can you tell me why I might want to come to Penfield? And so we have an opportunity to share this. We have an opportunity to also take this on our website, and any of you can go and grab that and share that information as well. So let's talk a little bit about business vitality for 2011. Approximately 17 hours ago, the town board adopted the comprehensive plan, and it was a real effort by a lot of people in this room, a lot of our residents, and a number of consultants as well. And this will set the stage. This will be our roadmap for the next 10 years here in Penfield. And again, a lot of hard work, and I want to thank everyone that was involved either directly or indirectly, because I think we have a great plan. Certainly our next steps are to start to put into place the recommendations that come out of that plan, and as we take our next steps over the next 10 to 12 years overall. Next week, we're going to be going through the draft of the sign ordinance. We have had one public hearing already. Towns typically are trying to balance the clutter and the opportunity to advertise, and that's a delicate balance that we try to work towards. And from a business standpoint, I'm guessing many of you will say the more the better. From a resident standpoint, they're concerned about the clutter. And one of the things that we are trying to balance is how do we make sure it's a win-win situation for all. So I would encourage anyone that doesn't have anything to do on the 8th, would like to come in and see how town government operates, please feel free to stop in. We do have a draft that we've been working on. I think we're on our 4th or 5th generation of that. And our goal is that around the April timeframe to have that adopted. It may require another public hearing, just based on the number of changes, but again, we will keep everyone posted on that. We want to continue to grow our town and PBA liaison committee. That has worked very well. There's been a number of things that we've identified that we have completed and things that we want to work on. I know Jim Costello has been working on a pamphlet that we can hand out that talks about doing business in Penfield. And that'll be something that's available hard copy, also available on the website. And again, it's just another way, another tool that can be used not only for businesses that are here, but also businesses that are coming to the area. We want to look at some of the construction projects that are going on. There's a number of state projects to help us get around maybe a little easier and to move some traffic through the town. We've got some turning lanes going in at 250 and 286, which is Atlantic Avenue, Plank and 250, and then Linden Avenue and 441. So those are at least some of the early on identified projects for this year. We want to get the sign ordinance completed, as I indicated. We want to start to implement recommendations of the comprehensive plan, and within the comprehensive plan, we're talking about expanding some of the business areas to add some more land and parcels for businesses within the town. We're talking about mixed-use districts that is a combination of business and residential, and looking to expand or grow in those areas as well. Certainly we recognize that there needs to be a very nice balance in Penfield of business and residents. And our residents will say, you know, you need to have the right amount of business. We don't want to turn into a Henrietta or a Greece, but we also need to have enough business, and we need to get enough from a tax-based standpoint to help balance that out, done right and done appropriately for Penfield overall. We want to continue to look at more resources for the healthy business within our Energy and Environmental Advisory Council. And so certainly communication tools and other ways to expand different areas. That's what we want to do to take this whole energy conservation and to help push it down to the business community. There's a lot of grants out there. There's a lot of information out there for the RG&E, NYSERDA, and a great opportunity to do some improvements, help lower your costs, and done very, very efficiently overall. Look for additional uses for our videos. It's another area that we want to do. And then develop our website business content. And we're going to give you an opportunity on this new project that we've been working on. So we've wanted to take Spotlight on Business that we did in 2010 and to kind of move into 2011 to take that to the next step overall. So what we've been working on with the help of our PR team and a number of staff members is that on our website, and it'll be under developmental services area, so it's in the process. So if you go there today, if you click onto our homepage, you go to departments and you click on developmental services, there is a little link on the top, and again, this is in the early stages, but it is an opportunity for us to start to utilize social media even more. Marrying YouTube, Google Maps, and other forms of social media to help spotlight the businesses, whether they be businesses in any of our business districts, whether it be customary home occupations. The idea is that anyone visiting can get some information on that. So we're very excited about taking that next step and helping to promote all of you so that the healthy business makes for the healthy community. So that's a very exciting thing that we've been working on very recently. You'll see it start to develop over the next couple of weeks. One of our key players that's involved with that is we've had a little setback. And the setback is that he and his wife had a baby boy last evening about 9:40, Dave Renner and Sabrina Renner. And so Dave and Sabrina, who are kind of key to our PR team, have decided to take a week off and enjoy the new baby. They promise to be back on the job within the next week, though. So I just want to go through and just talk a little bit about our business districts and business liaisons. I'm not going to hit every single item, but there's a couple of things that I think is noteworthy as we go through. Linda Cole is our liaison in the Four Corners district. Linda lives in that area, has been very committed to that area. But there's a lot of good things that have gone on. Actually, this afternoon, ECC will be having an open house ribbon cutting, and I think our county executive is coming to that. This is a business that moved into Penfield just recently, brought in 30 engineers within their company, and came from the Fairport area. So we're just delighted that they're now part of the Penfield community, and certainly we'll be encouraging them to get involved with the Business Association, because again, the more people that we have, the more voices in the room, and the more support that we have helps everyone overall. We have a new photography studio on Penfield Road. That was the former Buzz Code house, Buzz and Barb Code's house. They're up and operating. I'd like to recognize the Penfield Art Center. They received the Historic Preservation Award for 2010. That's the Jeff Crane Award. That was as a result of taking that building and rehabbing that building and bringing it back to something that is a real key destination point within the Four Corners overall. And Mott's Lane, as you recall last year, one of the things we said is we wanted to continue to expand on Mott's Lane. We had a building that was leaning about 5 directions. That building is now down. We completed some drainage work as part of our commitment for that. And now all we have left is to complete that road, the Mott's Lane, to have it come out opposite Liberty Street so that everyone has an opportunity to come in off in 441 or 5 Mile Line Road, come into the businesses behind, do that in a safe manner, move through that area. And we believe that is a real key function of the Four Corners based on the traffic of 441. Our state officials will tell us when I say, what can we do to help and support our businesses in that area? What can we do with traffic? And they say, Tony, we want to get traffic from east to west and west to east as quick and as safe as we can. So the Liberty Street connection and the Mott's Lane connection gives hopefully our residents an opportunity to get off, get into the business safely, and continue to do businesses with all of you in that particular area. On Lloyd's Corners, Rob Quinn is our liaison for that area. The Sunoco lease has been negotiated. That is the old Sunoco building next to McDonald's. Cam's Pizzeria will be looking to come in there this year, and they have some great plans by way of building and landscaping. I think that will really look to dress up that area. The other big item that went through there is our transmission main, and this is the East Side water system, and it went from the back of where we are right here, Penfield Country Club, by the Y, under 250, and it's on its way to the lake to help complete that loop for all of this region, multi-county region. And Lisa's Liquor Store, for those of you that have been in there, leave some breadcrumbs so you can find your way back out, because it is an amazing, amazing place, and they certainly seem to be doing very well and thriving very well. North Penfield Crossroads, just recently Salvatore's had a ribbon cutting for their expansion to add kind of a pub style in that area. They seem to be doing very well and are pleased to be in Penfield, and they get a nice draw between Penfield and Webster. Baytown Plaza, part of that redevelopment, and I'll take just a minute and talk a little bit about Baytown. Premier Fitness just signed a lease and moved into that area. And so the next logical question is, what's up with Baytown? So currently Baytown is before the Planning Board. The Planning Board is taking a look at their environmental impact statement. At some time around the spring, the April timeframe, that will be completed. And then the decision will have to be made as to what the next steps are with that area. And so at least for now, they are in an approval process or in a process through the seeker process, and by April you'll start to hear a little bit more in and around that. Royal Dynasty is in the process of building a new building, so with good comes bad. Royal Dynasty was in fact in Baytown, moving out of Baytown, still in the area, building a new building, but that opens up more space within the Baytown area. And then traffic calming. That whole area, the traffic calming is really key and something that we've been working on. In fact, we've got a meeting coming up here in about a week and a half with the state. And so some of the things we're going to be talking about, traffic calming on Empire Boulevard so we can get patrons safely in and out of those businesses. We're going to be talking yet again about turn arrow in the Four Corners of Penfield, as well as a number of other opportunities throughout there. In the LaSalle's Landing, the Ruoff cleanup continues. We did the first wave of that. We are now engaged with an environmental engineer because there has to be some environmental cleanup we're working with DEC on, and we will be starting that as soon as the weather breaks and getting that area cleaned up so that we can continue to expand our park down in that area overall. And then the Bayside Boat and Tackle was closed. You may have read about that. The previous owner was having some health issues, sold the business, but it's opening back up. So the sign may be different, but the business will be the same. And that was a very successful business in that area. Panorama Valley with Andy Moore. For those of you that have been to McGinnis, I probably don't need to say too much more after that. McGinnis is the former CJ's, the former Roadhouse. They're doing excellent. Their business model says that they hit a home run, and that place is always busy, always packed, and they seem to be doing very well. United Rental site, which is now a hardwood outlet. That was an area that was a real eyesore for a lot of years. It was closed, the weeds growing up, and they came in, and that business really has helped dress up that area as well. And then most recently, Tuesday morning, open Tuesday morning, and Sears will be coming to the Blockbuster building in Panorama sometime here very shortly, so you'll see a Sears store at that location. Browncroft and Blossom, Paula Metzler is our liaison in addition to the LaSalle's Landing. But I'd like to just take a minute and recognize and congratulate Family First for being Penfield Business Association Business of the Year. And Jen, to you and your team, congratulations. Very nice. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize, where's Jack Best? There's Jack Best, Business Person of the Year from the Penfield Business Association. Jack, congratulations. Again, with good, there comes bad. MRB, an engineering firm on Browncroft, they've been there for over 40 years. Sometime this year or early next year, they will be moving out of Penfield. And that's unfortunate. We're very sorry to see them go. But we're optimistic what will come in behind them, and we'll work certainly with the owners to update and bring new business into that area. And we continue, and I know I think a week doesn't go by that Jim and I don't talk about the mobile station on Browncroft and the unsightliness of that. And we continue to work very closely with the owner of that property to get that updated and upgraded overall. So, what are some opportunities? The opportunities are for all of you at any time to participate. And one of the things that I'm going to throw out as a challenge to all of you is that at any time during our legislative session on the first and the third Wednesday of each month, we'd love to have you in right at 7:30. We'd love to have you in to come in and talk a little bit about your business. Talk about the good things that are going on. If you're a new business, it gives you an opportunity to say, hey, we're here. These are the services that we offer. We'd love to see you. Or if you're relocated, remember all of you that were coming to our business, we've moved from here to here, but we're still offering all the same services and goods to you. Free advertisement. It's an opportunity to come in and talk about your business, and then that gets replayed at least once a day during the course of that upcoming week and several times on the weekend. And you would be amazed and surprised at the number of people that watch Channel 12 and Channel 15. So I would encourage at any time, please come on in, talk about your business, what's going on, the good things, any specials you got going on. Again, some free advertising overall. And then our Energy and Environmental Advisory Committee is looking to add a member from the Penfield business owner who has got some interest in sustainability, looking for ways to reduce, looking for some ways to help out. So again, the challenge out there is if you've got someone that would like to serve in that role, it's a once-a-month commitment. It's a very dynamic team. It's a nice cross section of folks, and so I'm very, obviously a little biased about that group because I sit on that group. So if you want an independent voice, certainly Robin, Bob, Phyllis are a couple of people that can speak about their experiences overall. So let's talk about some resources and some other opportunities. it probably goes without saying everybody here knows Jim Costello. I mean, Jim Costello and I go back a lot of years. Jim has been in that job, well, he's been in various jobs, but currently in his job is developmental services for a number of years, reaching out, not only supporting our current businesses, looking to bring new businesses in, helping them out, coaching, guiding. And so Jim doesn't need a lot of introduction. However, what happens is that a lot of people that from the outside don't necessarily know Jim Costello. And if you take a look at Jim's title, Director of Developmental Services, what does that mean? So one of the things that we're going to be changing and updating our website is that it'll still be Jim Costello, but it's going to be Director of Business Development Service. Our interest was to have business plugged into that, into his role, into his department, because sometimes developmental services, you think about planning, and we really want to concentrate on business and what can we do to help support business. So it's still the good old Jim, the great ideas, and the energy that he has, just with a little bit different title. We want to continue on with our town board liaisons, and my challenge to the town board is to get out into their areas, talk to the businesses, listen, more importantly, listen to you. What is it that we can do for you? How can we help? What roadblocks are you facing? What are some of the issues that you have? We want to listen to those, bring those back, and talk about what we can do to help break down those barriers. We certainly, again, want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to participate at public participation, and we would welcome you in and encourage you to do that at any time. And our Energy and Environmental Advisory Board is going to continue to work with our business and help all of you maybe reduce some costs, be more competitive, put more monies in your pocket. All of those things are a benefit for everyone. And then I would encourage, if you haven't, take a look at renewpenfield.org. There's some opportunity for grants, for loans. That's something that we update on a regular basis. We work very closely with our consultant, Blue Springs, and a NYSERDA grant that we have. And we're constantly looking for ways to help our residents and our businesses overall. Again, here are your business district liaisons. If you're in that particular area, again, you don't have to specifically talk to your liaison. You can talk to any board member. But again, my challenge to the board is that we get everyone out, talking with our businesses. How can we help? How can we support and not be a roadblock to you? Just a reminder, there is a section on our Renew Penfield for small business for the energy efficiency program. Please take a look at that. Very little investment, a lot of incentives that are out there. All of us pay into on our RG&E or energetics bill. There is a line item in there that we pay that goes to NYSERDA. And these are the NYSERDA dollars to come back to all of us that have paid into that. So if you qualify, there's a lot of good information, and I would encourage you to just take a look. So with that, shop locally here in Penfield, and healthy business makes for a healthy community. And I appreciate everyone taking the time, and would be more than happy to entertain any questions, comments that you have. Yes, Robin.
If I work at home, is there a particular liaison for the home-based business?
That's a great question. So, Linda and I, that's our first action item to go back. You know, our customary home occupations. I mean, one of the things that we concentrated is on those districts that are out there. But the customary home occupations or the small businesses at home, that's something that we want to take a look at. So maybe it might be as simple as the areas that we have responsibility to kind of expand that to the residents in that area to be that. But that's a great, we'll take that as an action item to expand that.
I work at Panera's a lot, so maybe it's
perfect. So it looks like Andy Moore. I'll have Andy give you a call. But that's a great point. Other questions or comments? Yes, Mel.
Tony, in regards to the Baytown development,
yes,
it's great that that's being redeveloped. It certainly needs it, but you're still saying that there won't be any rezoning that one section there.
The town board has gone on record that we were very concerned about how ambitious they were looking to rezone in that particular area, and I'm sure the plans come back are going to show a number of different alternatives. I know that the town board has been very interested and very concerned about providing that adequate buffer to the current residents that are there. Now we have talked and have had input from folks in that area that they would be willing to see single-family residents. They would be interested in seeing townhouse or apartments. They'd even be willing to see business non-retail. Again, until we see what comes back from the planning board, but today there is nothing before the town board for us to make any ruling or comment on. Yep. Other questions or comments? Rick?
Rick Frank from K&A Financial Bank. Tony, it was great to hear a lot of the things that you said. It was great to hear the update on Lots Lane. I've been traveling up and down that, and I didn't realize that those things had been done. But can you give us an idea as to the completion date of that, or the best that you know at this time?
Absolutely, Rick. So the question is Mott's Lane, completion date of Mott's Lane. If I had sole control over that, it would be done by the end of this week. So the staff on a regular basis say, Tony, slow down just a little bit. Don't get too ahead of your blockers. Our goal is that during this upcoming construction season that we will complete that. The one point that one hurdle that we have to get over is that we need final approval from the DOT. And so that's yet another item on our agenda for the next week or 10 days, because sometimes, so if anybody's here from the state of New York, that permit process just got a lot longer. But for anybody that has worked with the state in the past, they know that they move at their speed. And so we continue to work with them, provide them the information they need, and try to get that approval as quick as we can. Our goal is by the end of this construction season or before, that road will be open. Yes, sir.
Is it also going to provide connection to linear park?
At this time, it does not, Rick. So the question is does that provide a connection to Linear Park? So we'll come out opposite Liberty Street because the state always likes to have driveways and roadways line up from a safety standpoint. But at this time, it does not extend down to Linear Park. Now, there has been a lot of discussion and different plans for the Four Corners area and for that general area of taking a number of those driveways from what I'll call the Humphrey House down to Linear Park Drive and looking to eliminate or reduce the number of curb cuts from a safety standpoint. So I'll never say never, but at least this phase will be to complete it opposite Liberty Street. Yes, sir.
Might even be the same as your DOT answer, but when you talked about right turns, I often thought 5 Mile Line turning into the high school, if there was a right turning lane into the high school, that could save an awful lot of traffic flow there as well. Just wonder if that was ever discussed or...
You know, I think there's a lot of things that have been discussed around that, and so we're talking about 5 Mile Line Road and the high school and turn arrows and turn lanes and things like that. I will say that John Carlavati and I have had conversations about what is it that we might be able to do, keeps the character of the area, helps with those pinch points in the morning. It's not quite as bad in the afternoon because it seems like the activities at school are spread out. You got after-hour sports, after-hour clubs and activities. So it doesn't seem to be as much of a problem in the afternoon. But that pinch point in the morning truly is a pinch point. So John and I have done some brainstorming, and we'll continue to take a look at that. We certainly have to work with the county DOT, which I will say are great partners and are very easy to work with. And we'll be looking at what is it that we can do to help that pinch point. It's that period of time, depending upon when you're going through there, but from roughly 7 or shortly after to about 7:45, that's just a very difficult, and we've talked, John and I have talked about it from a standpoint, God forbid, if a fire truck or an ambulance needs to get from the south to the north or the north to the south, certainly everybody respects that and tries to pull over. But if you go down there today, after our recent snow, the banks are pretty close to the edge of the road, and there's really no place for folks to pull over. So it's those types of things that that we brainstorm and talk about as to how we can help that. But yes, it's one thing that we continue to look at and continue to make sure we're keeping on the radar screen. Yes, Ron.
Why can't the state DOT delegate more authority to the county DOT to go ahead and allow turn arrows, road alignments, and all that, take the load off the state and make it more effective? Is the state DOT just, it seems like they're very inefficient and never get anything done.
So the question from Ron is that why can't the state delegate a little bit to the county, because the county tends to be a little bit better partners with the town. The problem is that the state has one thing and one thing on their mind: movement of traffic, movement of cars as quick and as fast as they can. So as you come to a 5-mile line road, even though 5 Mile is a county road, the state has jurisdiction for the first 500 feet. So if I'm going too far, Jim Fletcher will give me a little nudge or tug his ear or something, probably throw something at me. But they have jurisdiction for that first 500 feet. So if you take a look at 5 Mile Line Road, you go your first 500 feet, that takes you up to roughly Liberty Street or just shy of that. You go back the other way, probably takes you back to the entrance or just past the art shop, the art center. And so they control all that. And so consequently, if you're doing anything to slow traffic down or to hamper it in any way, then they want to make sure that they have their mark on it and stamp of approval. So that's, I would love to be able to have that relationship with the county. And I know Jim Fletcher, as our highway superintendent, would love to have that. But the state rules, and so we have to follow those rules. And again, that's part of the reason why we look to work with the county and the state and have these regular meetings, because we talk about these things. Jeff Benway, our town engineer, gave me a list of 17 items and saying, I know we're not going to probably get to all these, but these are really key critical items that impact the town, across the town. And so it's on a regular basis that we want to talk with them, try to demonstrate to them the things that they do does in fact create problems and hamper movement of traffic through the town. But we'll continue to work on that, Ron. I don't see it in my lifetime. My guess is that the state will just continue to, keep those controls, and our job is to present a good business plan, a good case as to why we should make some changes. And that's our goal. One of the things that I think I have a promise with my lovely wife, and that is that at some point, and this has been going on for over 20 years, but at some point I want to see a turn arrow in the Four Corners to help that. And I live in the Four Corners area, and I, on a very regular basis, as I'm sitting on 5 Mile Line Road going northbound or turning west onto 441, and I sit through 7 lights, and there's 3 or 4 cars ahead of me, what that tends to do is that tends to create very bad habits. The light turns red, and now I'm tailgating or going through red lights, and that's not the behavior we want to encourage. And so that's the type of thing that we want to say to the state, by not putting the turn arrow in, what you're doing is you're creating very bad habits. The tailgating, stretching the light, and that's where we have a lot of accidents. So if we can reduce those accidents by doing something as simple as putting in turn arrows. So I think it's all about how we package it, a good business case, have some data, and hopefully, cooler heads and sensible heads will prevail. So, Joyce.
Can you tell us more about the Ozzy's building?
The current Ozzy's building. So, was it Jack Best? Jack Best and I said it's on the screen, Jack, but I'm not going to talk about it. So you'll have to talk to Joyce after. But essentially, that building has been somewhat of an eyesore. So again, I'll probably take some heat for that. But it has been somewhat of an eyesore for a number of years. We have an individual who is a resident of the town that bought that. Hasn't done a lot to try to keep it up. We've reached out and said, hey, you've got to get this maintained. You've got to clean it. Jim Costello has worked with him to We finally got it painted at the end of the year. It drives Jim crazy when there is maybe 3 or 4 brush strokes left to be completed, and it takes 2 or 3 weeks for that to happen. There are some residents, some apartments up above, but at this time, the individual, we ask him, what's your intentions? His intentions are to rent it to something, and but we haven't seen anything at all. So we're going to continue, because I had mentioned to Jim here within the last week and a half or 2 weeks, or maybe it was right after our PBA discussion, but the back of that building has got the press board. I mean, it just looks terrible, and we need to work to get that cleaned up. But right now, there is not a lot of movement on that. Jim continues to work with the owner to make that happen. Yes. Hey, Big Jim.
Results on the environmental issue with the cleaners areas on Penfield Road?
Good point. So very briefly, there was an issue, used to be where the Clean Town dry cleaner down in Panorama, adjacent, just in front of the old Fit by 5, so I apologize. When our girls went there, it was Fit by 5, next to the ESL freestanding money machine. That building got torn down. There were piles sitting there that was going through an environmental cleansing process. And then they wanted to get going. In fact, they've been into the town to put up a car wash in that particular area. And that kind of ground to a halt as a result of some more concerns of some of the environmental that was leaching off-site. So DEC has been working with the property owners in that area. I know they put in some additional test wells at the Genesee Conservation League here within the last month. And so they're going to be doing some ongoing monitoring. They've been in touch with us, Jim. Right now we're waiting for what that report looks like based on what they've been monitoring here over the last 6 or 8 weeks. So more to follow, and as soon as we get that, certainly we'll share what we can by way of information from DEC. Okay. So again, I'd like to take an opportunity to say thank you. I know everyone's scheduled very busy. Taking time out to come here is very much appreciated. At any time, if there's anything that we can do or our staff can do, please feel free to call. We are really interested in making sure that we do everything that we can to support you. So there are a couple of action items. One, challenge any business to come in and see us on the 1st and 3rd at 7:30. 2, would love to have a representative who is a business owner who's got an interest to be part of our energy environmental advisory team. And so today you'll note in one of the slides there was a little note, be the first to ask Tony, and y'all failed. You guys all failed. So, but because of our commitment to sustainability and what have you, before you leave, there is one of the CFL light bulbs. Please take one as you go. The person that, or the first person that failed to ask, you missed out on the big prize, which was a 50-inch TV, and so. We'll look to donate that to our president of the Penfield Business Association, Ann Young. Thank you very much.